It is 19 hours 1 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. My name is Joshua Van Slegman and welcome to your evening newscast for today, March 30th, 2022. CGX Resources Incorporated recently disclosed to the Environmental Protection Agency that it proposes to drill the Well 1 exploration well in the northern portion of its Currentine block in the May to August 2022 period. The We1 pegged to cost approximately $93,000. This sum would be recoverable should CGX move to production on the heels of commercial discovery. The site of the proposed We1 well is approximately 200 km from Georgetown in a northeasterly direction in the Atlantic Ocean. CGX also told the EPA that the project will involve onshore facilities and marine aviation services in Guyana to support the exploration, drilling, and decommissioning activities. It was noted that CGX is in discussion with the G-Port Incorporated for standard offshore rig support logistics, PSV mooring, and other shore-based services in Georgetown. The company is also in discussion with Tiger Rentals Guyana for non-hazardous and hazardous waste management disposal service and PSV and mud-tack cleaning services at the Gibbsby Inc. location at Houston, Guyana. Making use of its $217 million budgetary allocation for the Bartica Stelling, the Ministry of Public Works is seeking contractors to continue their rehabilitation works at the Region 7 Stelling, which has been under reconstruction for some time now. In the national budget this year, the government had allocated a sum of $455 million for the continued rehabilitation of the Leg 1, Fort Island, and Bartica Stellings. The Bartica Stelling project, which has been ongoing for a few years, is one that the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration had inherited from the APNU AFC when it assumed office back in 2020. The contract is worth a total of $434 million. The Ministry of Health has replaced the head of the Department for the Government Analysis Food and Drug Department, as well as the Mental Health Unit. We understand that former director of the department, Dr. Marlon Cole, was recently removed from the post. A void has been filled by Ms. Tandika Barton, who previously served as the principal analytic scientific officer and is a part-time lecturer at the University of Guyana. A source attached to the Health Ministry explained that the ministry is moving to reshuffle a number of heads of departments in the coming weeks. In addition to Cole, the ministry has thus far replaced the director of the Mental Health Unit, Dr. Util Richmond Thomas, with Dr. Timothy Morgan, who has been serving as the coordinator of that unit. Dr. Richmond Thomas has been reassigned to the Enterprise Health Center, East Coast Demerara, following a reevaluation of the work of the unit. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your evening newscast. The debate over Guyana's desire to give its people first jump in certain business areas within the oil and gas sector is one that should not be happening, since it is expected that any country would give its citizens some type of preference to ensure they benefit fully from their natural resources. The need to make the local content document law to convince citizens that their government has them in mind is in fact a terrible sign regarding trust between the state and its citizens. This is according to economist Professor Clive Thomas, who said that Guyana has now placed itself in a position to be challenged for introducing the laws that weakens the right to competition. Thomas offered that he felt that the local rights should have been placed into existing policies. Meanwhile, days after she was reportedly assaulted and verbally abused by attorney-at-law Nirvan Singh, Shawnette Bollers, a special constable attached to the Guyana Police Force, has brought a $150 million lawsuit against him in her claim filed by her attorney-at-law UC Anderson. Ms. Bollers is suing for slanders allegedly published orally by Mr. Singh on March 20, 2022. She noted that the lawyer used racist and derogatory words to describe her. Bollers said that she was at the time operating on guard duties at the Middle and Coventry Georgetown home owned by his father, Carl Singh, who is a retired Chancellor of the Judiciary. She alleged that at the time of the incident, Mr. Singh approached her and chased her out of her duty area and subsequently off the property, forcing her to abandon her post and duties for the said night. The contribution of taxes from self-employed does not seem to represent what can be considered fair, and this is reflected in the Auditor General's 2017 report. According to the report, over the years, GRA has experienced difficulties in having delinquent self-employed persons comply with the requirements of the Income Tax Act. As December 31st, 2017, there were 105,522 active registered self-employed persons in the revenue database, of which only 18,351 persons, or 70% of the active registrants, filed returns. Nevertheless, the report said that the total income tax collected from self-employed taxpayers for the period January to December 2017 amounted to $4.9 billion. In this report, head of the authority, Godfrey Stacia, had acknowledged the issue in light of the number of self-employed taxpayers not filing returns and limited resources at the disposal of GRA. Stacia noted that the authority has adopted a risk management approach to prioritize the high-risk taxpayers with great revenue implications. And finally, at this time check for you, 6 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour. A reward of $1 million is being offered by the relatives of a man who mysteriously disappeared from his Lot 57 Laporte Street, Georgetown home some 2 years ago. The missing man has been identified as Ricardo Rocky de France, who was 36-year-old at the time he reportedly went missing. He was last seen in January 2020 by his landlord, who owns a restaurant in the area. De France was an American citizen but was deported to Ghana at the age of 17 and over time had developed a drug addiction problem. Contact can be made with the nearest police station or with family members on +1 347 666 6210. That's +1 347 666 6210. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1. That's your evening newscast, rather, right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 or 99.5 FM. Allow me to remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News Thursday's edition at a newsstand near you, or head across our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I'm Joshua Van Slackman. Thank you for joining us. Coming up at 19 hours 20, it's going to be time for a rebroadcast of the Glenn Lal Show. And just a point of note, as we are on this topic, the Glenn Lal Show resumes, which will be live programs, resumes this Friday, April 1. Do stay tuned. Have a great remainder of your evening.